This isn't the typical video of Josema switching to open. Yes, we all know that already. I'm going to go deeper than that. What has Josema said? Why is he leaving? What are the reasons? What consequences will it have for his health? For the classic category? For open? Will it go well for him? Will it go badly? How far will he go? I'm going to analyze it and give my harsh opinion. He uploaded a 17-minute video talking, and he didn't say much, but about what he did say regarding why he's leaving. He claims he's moving to open mainly because it's very hard for him to make weight in classic, and of course this is something very serious. In this category, there's a weight limit based on height, so they must meet a specific weight. It's not just about weighing in, competing, and being done, because they're always at the absolute weight limit to be more competitive. If he's weighing, I don't know, if he has to weigh in at 103 kilos, and in the months before he's weighing 115, 120 huge and really shredded, to be able to enter classic, he has to lose a lot of weight. He arrives starving. Basically, he's on a prisoner's diet, but like a North Korean prisoner. Hardly eating anything, arriving dehydrated, going to the sauna, hanging yourself to stretch and measure taller. Classic competitors do some crazy things to make weight. And once they make weight, they start eating, loading up, filling themselves up, and go out to compete heavier and in better condition. In the case of Jolito Josema, he has spent 2 years starving, 2 years of constant preparation, always cutting, without being able to do a proper bulking phase. All of that affects you a lot psychologically, and it's really tough, and I understand that perfectly, and I think we all do. It's very difficult, it's a huge sacrifice. He managed to be top 6 in the world, then he became top 4 in the world, he's won numerous competitions, but there comes a point where he's just burned out, he can't go on anymore. And he literally said the phrase, "I'd rather not be the 4th in the world and enjoy my day-to-day life."
Enjoy your day-to-day life, I've said it before. Whether I'm ranked 4th in the world or anything else happens, I choose to enjoy daily life.
And this phrase is totally understandable, totally respectable, but I'm going to keep dropping in some asides with my harsh opinion throughout the video. Success requires sacrifice. There are bodybuilders who would be willing to give up their day-to-day life, not enjoy, not live, just to reach that glory, not just the success of maybe becoming Mr. Olympia, finishing 2nd, 3rd, or something else. Josema doesn't have such a big ambition. His mind is more focused on other things, and not exclusively on bodybuilding 100%. Which I say again is fine, and there's nothing wrong with that. They're people too. He says he also makes this decision for his health, and there are important nuances here. On a psychological level, also the hunger he must be going through, the starvation, the malnutrition, the dehydration. In all that sense, he's going to gain a lot in terms of health, especially in the short term. But in the long term, the open category is no joke. Weighing 110 kilos shredded is not the same as weighing 130 kilos shredded and 150 in the off-season. I'm not going to start explaining now the serious health consequences it can have for your organs, at the joint level, on longevity, how long you'll last, and what you have to do to be a competitive open athlete. Switching to open, he gains health short-term. Long-term, open isn't appealing, but he says he wants to quit soon and doesn't want to be a bodybuilder until 40. Let's continue. When does he compete? He says he doesn't think he'll compete this year since his daughter will be born, which will greatly impact his life. His decisions, which have also influenced this one a lot, it has to be said, and also because he wouldn't be competitive in open right now the way he wants to be. He wants to do a great job with his coach, with Raul. They want to bring him out when he's ready, and when the work is truly done 100%, and he comes out chiseled. They don't want to show up half ready, so he'll almost certainly miss Mr. Olympia this year. There won't be Classic or Olympia for him, which is significant. What does this mean? It means that all the classic bodybuilders are going to move up. One position. Even Darwin wouldn't be 5th anymore, he'd be 4th. Diego Alindo is no longer 6th, now he's 5th. Terence won't have that kind of tough opponent anymore, the kind Josema was, since they were always so evenly matched. He had the aesthetics, proportions, and harmony, while Josema had the mass and dryness. We'll miss that battle. It's a shame. The level at the top of Olympia is also going to drop, big time. Josema, top 4 in the world, who had a chance this year to be top 3, who knows if even more. Well, he won't be there anymore. And we're going to miss that showdown between Terence and Josema, and we'll always be left wondering, could he have managed to beat him? Could he have moved up a spot at Olympia? How would he have done now that he could weigh more because he measured a bit taller and his weight limit increased? What would have happened? This would have been really interesting, but we won't find out. Anyway, those who follow me will know. I have said many times that for me, Josema was never ever going to be classic Mr. Olympia, because he's very limited by his structure, his insertions, his genetics. I think that if he had stayed in Classic, he could have gone for a top 3, who knows, maybe even a top 2 someday. He could have always been in the top 5 for years. But there wasn't much more beyond that. In Open, on the other hand, the legs wouldn't be such a problem. The triceps can grow. The waist, even if it's wider, doesn't matter that much. We saw him yesterday at a guest posing appearance at 132 kilos in the off-season, now that he's doing the bulking he really needed. Compared to the Open competitors, he doesn't look out of place at all. He actually looks like another Open competitor. I said in my previous videos that if Josema went over 130 kilos, there would be no turning back. I'm basing this on other Classic competitors. I'm basing this on what happened to Urs, who also switched to Open. I'm also looking at Zibam's weights and Dino's weights. Once you hit 125 kilos, it already starts to get hard to go back. And if you go up to 130, that's it. There's no turning back. And he's reached 132. You can't go back to Classic anymore, even if you lost a leg. I said that if he stayed around 128 or 125 in absolutely shredded condition, with a lot of effort, he could go back to Classic. I was counting on the fact that as he prepared and got leaner, with about 115 he could compete in Open, qualify for the Olympia, keep getting leaner, push himself, and compete in the Classic Olympia, and who knows, maybe even compete in both, if they let him, as he wants to make clear. That would have been amazing, but hey, that's life. Many factors influence it. Now, with everything involving his daughter, another decision had to be made. And for his mental, psychological, even short-term physical health, and for the potential he has in the future, they've decided to switch to Open and skip the Olympia in 2026. It's a shame, but that's how it is. Was it a good idea? How will he perform? Will he be competitive? I think so. Besides, Josema is a guy who just smells a hamburger and gains 5 kilos. He has an incredible ability to gain muscle mass, so much so that he's had to spend 2 years in constant preparation, always staying lean, and going hungry. To avoid moving up a category, he started as Open, became a professional in Open, then had a virus for a long time that made him lose a lot of weight, and they decided to switch to Classic. And it went well for him and he stayed there, but by nature he wants to grow, he wants to gain muscle. Josema gains too much muscle, man, poor guy. In Classic physique, he was very limited by his flat quadriceps. Now in Open, he'll be able to add more mass to them and really improve his look. He was limited by a wider waist. In Open, that won't matter as much, and by gaining a lot of muscle in other areas, it'll balance out. His triceps were lagging behind. Even his arms in general aren't that good, but without a weight limit and being able to add as much muscle as he wants, this is going to improve. He has some really strong points, a very dominant back. Right now in bodybuilding there are some good backs, but Josema's is on another level. His hamstrings are also impressive. And there aren't many good hamstrings out there. He has very pumped, big shoulders. He has very dense muscle, very hard, very separated, very 3D. He has a real look, truly freaky, vascular, and he's managed to achieve extremely sharp definition. Definition is something that's really missing in Open bodybuilding. Beyond Hadi, Sasan, and a few others, they don't come in as shredded as the Classic guys. Urs Ursa has joined Open, now Josema is going, Dino will follow soon, and Wesley Visers will join later. We're facing a very interesting era change that we're going to experience in the coming years. Maybe by 2030 we'll have those genetically gifted Classic competitors who switch to Open, competing for the Mr. Olympia title, taking the top spots. Will he win? How long will it take him to win? Well, I think if he chooses the right competitions and does everything right and everything goes perfectly, by 2027 he'll be qualifying for the Olympia. But yeah, I'm pretty convinced about that. Who will win first, Josema or Joan? I think Joan could achieve it this year if he chooses the right competition and does things right. We're going to have a Joan and Josema showdown in the future. 2 Spaniards fighting it out in a pro show. Winning competitions and making it to the Olympia is possible and interesting. Good times are coming for Spanish Open bodybuilding. I think Josema has made a good decision, one he had to make sooner or later. But personally, I think he should have competed this year in Open, as he was losing weight and getting leaner to compete at the Olympia. That way he would have seriously tried Open instead of just guest posing. Who knows, he might have even won, making history for Spain. Maybe he could have pushed for one last Olympia. A farewell, one last dance, Zibam style. Then moving on to Open is what I would have preferred, but I fully understand his decision. It's the right choice and we can't criticize him. This has been my analysis of everything that has happened. I'll even make more videos about this soon. Don't forget to watch this morning's video, okay? The Pittsburgh Classic Physique guest posing is up. I uploaded the Open finals yesterday. They're on the channel. Ending the video here. Ares YT Culturismo signing off. See you next time.